most children are not learning how to access now, that we need to redo how we're raising our children. We need to rearrange how we're raising them so that they can understand that that's the kind of power they have working for them. So that going back to school, completing degrees, completing programs, moving up on their jobs, buying homes, renting apartments, all those things are possible as long as you're not destroying yourself, and as long as you're not allowing a lot of what Gayla talked about, that internalized self-hatred that we don't want to talk about. Mm-hmm. We don't want to even admit we have it, and many times if we don't see it in ourselves, we'll see it in each other, and we'll say things like, you fast, you stupid, you that. Mm-hmm. We don't have time for that anymore. We have really burnt out the time that we have for that kind of stuff. It's really the only time we have right now is to hold on and to each other, to love each other, and to pull out the best that we have to offer. And so fortunately, because I was standing on a lot of prayers from my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, when it was my turn to pick up my role as eldership in my family, I was prepared. I didn't know I was being groomed for it, but I was, and that's where Gayla is now. All of the young women who watch this show know that you're not going to be young forever. And while you're young, you're also being prepared for eldership. Mm-hmm. You are going to be somebody's mother, somebody's auntie, somebody's cousin. You are going to have to reach back and pull somebody up with you, which is the only reason I'm sitting here now. And so, one of the things that I wanted to acknowledge tonight where our young people is concerned is you are living in a more tragic world than I lived in. We don't always say that to you. We talk about you. We point our fingers at you. But I want to say that the damage that's going on in your community, it's people in my age group that we set the ball rolling for this. We were the first ones that hung out all night in the club and, hung out all night at the concerts, and who hung out on Hippie Hill. And, we were the first big-time partiers in the African-American community. Our parents that came to California from the South, they weren't doing that. They came here looking for another life, but not all of them hit the streets and hit the clubs. So we're the generation directly responsible for the big mess. The big party spirit that was not. It wasn't. We're people who ought to celebrate. But we took it to another level. We weren't just celebratory. We was hanging. And we hung hard. And we hung long. And it opened the door for a lot of things that don't serve us today. So, and those are the things that I think Gayla was talking about, growing up in that environment. While she made some of those same choices I made, went down some of the same roads, because she grew up in church, because she saw me get myself together, she knew that there had to be something different. So I want you to talk, because I'm just so impressed with your spiritual development. I just got to tell you, even though you're my child, as a young woman, your spiritual development is really powerful to me. So I want you to talk about your spiritual development for 1 minute. Because that's all we have right now. Mm-hmm. Give a young woman some hope.
Okay. The only thing that I know I can speak on is what my experience and what worked for me. In my lowest and craziest moments, it was times you would be at school and I would be in the bathroom crying, bawling out, begging God to save me. And like my mother said, it's important for the youth to learn God and know that He exists, and you have to have a relationship with Him. And as filthy as we all may feel at times, there is no such thing as being too filthy to go to God for anything. And you just have to go to Him, believe in Him, depend on Him, and the best thing I ever did was make Him my man. That's what you do. Instead of making a human your man, make him your man. That's what I think.
See you next week.
Hey.